After hearing the news that the Chu family intended to seize the vacant lot he was purchasing, Qin Yun was extremely angry. He clenched his fists tightly and his eyes shot out sparks of hatred. Damn it! Right at this piece of land in the middle. We need to connect these two important plots of land. Without it, we can't form one large piece. It will be difficult to refine the treasure of the Mingyuan realm and the second-grade superior elixir. Qin Jiao Jiao squinted, her tone anxious. Moreover, this vacant land was the most important task assigned by the family head before leaving. If this fails, then my so-called acting head of the family will probably come to an end here. Qin Yun gritted his teeth and said in resentment, he didn't expect that the prodigal son would have such cunning and ruthless tactics. Qin Jiao Jiao fell silent for a moment, then suspiciously said, logically speaking, the prodigal son should only know how to destroy. He shouldn't be able to think of such a clever scheme. She then asked the servant, Zhang Yun, do you know who the Chu family sent and why they want to seize this piece of land? The servant replied, reporting to acting head is Chu Tm Xiao who wants to seize it. However, he is playing a coin-tossing game to decide, and by chance, he landed on this piece of land, then came up with the idea of buying it to refine jewelry. Qin Yun, upon hearing this, sneered in contempt. Tossing a coin to determine the location? Isn't that just random? He plans to use that plot of land to refine jewelry? That's ridiculous. Humph, what a card trick. It turns out to be just a game that ruins the family, just a coincidence. At this moment, Qin Jiao Jiao also sighed in relief and smiled slightly. Ha ha! If it weren't intentional, then the threat to us would be much smaller. The Yai family has promised to sell us these 3 pieces of wasteland, and the deposit has already been paid. If they breach the contract, the Yai family will not only have to compensate for the damages, but will also completely offend the Qin family. It's not worth doing that. Qin Yun laughed coldly, feeling excited. Yes, sister is right. Even if that prodigal son throws money to make the Yai family waver, at most we just need to raise the price a bit. The Yai family just needs to weigh the pros and cons, and they will definitely see the benefits and stop. Qin Jiao Jiao asked, Zhang Yun, do you know who the Chu family sent to negotiate? The servant replied, yes, acting head, the person sent to negotiate is Mu Liu Ling. Upon hearing this, Qin Yun burst into laughter. Ha ha ha, that bitch is going to negotiate. What a joke. What does she know about business negotiations? Qin Jiao Jiao nodded and clicked her tongue. Yeah, that's right. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have worried. At the Chu family, the steward named Chu Ming had just been called in. He had been in the household for many years and had worked his way up to the position of steward, almost entirely responsible for the Chu family's external affairs and transactions. Today, he was called in, but his expression showed discomfort. He walked while silently cursing in his heart. Damn it. The Chu family has always relied on me for negotiations, which is how I get a chance to earn some profit. But that young master prodigal son just returned, and he'd bypassed me for a business deal worth millions of spirit coins, sending a lackey to negotiate instead. It's simply unreasonable. Humph, this land was initiated by the Qin family, and even I may have a hard time acquiring it, let alone a girl who only knows how to cling to a prodigal. I want to see what happens when she returns defeated. I wonder how that prodigal son will grovel and beg me. He was very angry inside, but on the outside, he remained soft-spoken. He politely handed over the scroll to Chu Tian Xiao, saying, Young master, this is the list of 20 weapon refiners that you've borrowed from Madame. Please take a look. Chu Tian Xiao ignored his gaze and slowly savored his high-quality tea, then replied coldly, Well, this is a matter of great importance to my family. I have to take a closer look at who they are. The steward was furious, frowning as he thought, Keep pretending. You keep saying it's borrowing weapon refiners, but I bet you won't even be able to buy the land soon enough, let alone step down. Not long after, Mu Liu Ling walked in through the door, holding an abacus in hand. Seeing a stranger in front of him, Liu Ling paused for a second, but quickly remembered what Chu Tian Xiao had said earlier. Liu Ling then clasped his hands politely and said, This person is the steward of the Chu family, right? Liu Ling has heard of your reputation for a long time. The steward looked at Liu Ling with a disdainful gaze, curled his lip, and said, Humph, you are not worthy to say heard of your reputation for a long time. After all, the young master dares to entrust a business deal worth 1,000,000 silver to you, which is enough to show that the young master values you. It's just that I see you do not have a storage ring in hand, nor any contract documents. Will you disappoint the young master's expectations? Chu Tm Xiao smiled and interjected. Liu Ling, you've been gone for so long. Have you resolved everything? Liu Ling replied, Reporting to the young master, luckily Liu Ling has not let down your expectations. As soon as these words were spoken, Maganer Q could not help but let out a cold sneer. Ha ha, truly shameless. Clearly, there are no results, yet you dare to say you are lucky not to disappoint expectations? Humph. Could it be that you have managed to obtain an opportunity for this old man to negotiate again, and that counts as not disappointing expectations? Chu Ti and Xiao turned to blow straight into the steward's face, pretending to blow on tea. Bah, too hot to handle. Liu Ling, continue. Liu Ling nodded and said, as Steward Thu said, I really did not bring back the land deed, but that is because the terms of the transaction have changed. Liu Ling walked over to the map, pointing at the wasteland, and said, initially, the young master instructed Liu Ling to buy this 1 mu of wasteland and made it clear that only the price could go up, not down. Consider it a waste of money, the young master provided 1,500,000 spirit coins, and the price I negotiated was 1,500,000. As soon as Liu Ling finished speaking, the steward couldn't help but laugh loudly. Ha ha ha. Is that all? This piece of land at 1,200,000 is already an outrageous price. You offered 1,500,000 and still don't have the land deed, and you're proud of that. Today, I broadened my horizons. He purposely spoke loud enough for the workers outside, who were eavesdropping, to hear. Upon hearing this, they began to discuss. Alas, a little girl surely cannot be trusted. What is there to trust in the servant of a prodigal son? She's negotiating the lowest price and still doesn't have the land deed. It's truly laughable. It's indeed the eye of a prodigal. Chu Ti and Xiao frowned slightly. Mag Q, don't be hasty. Liu Ling hasn't finished speaking yet. Hearing this, Mag Q smirked and said mockingly, Oh, Miss Mu, please continue. If there are any more jokes, let's hear them. Liu Ling then took a brush and drew 2 circles around the map, which seemed to cover an area about twice as large as before. After finishing the drawing, Liu Ling said, 1,500,000 not only buys the piece of wasteland requested by the young master, but also includes 2 adjacent pieces of wasteland. The total is roughly 2 7/10 acres. The reason we haven't secured the land contract yet is due to the importance of the matter, leaving the decision to the young master. The seller is Mr. Yi, who is currently waiting in the accounting room. If the young master agrees, just say the word and the contract will be presented immediately. Everything can be settled. It's not like some people mistakenly believe that this is just a dream. Just after finishing his sentence, Manager Ku's first reaction was absolute disbelief. But looking at Liu Ling's confident expression, which did not seem like a lie, he was stunned and exclaimed, How? How could this be? Chu Ti and Xiao was very pleased and nodded at Liu Ling, saying, exceeded expectations. Liu Ling, I truly did not misjudge you. I am very satisfied, and we can sign right now. Liu Ling responded lightly, Yes, young master. Liu Ling thanks young master for the trust and training. Manager Q still did not believe it. He rushed over, slammed the map, and questioned loudly, Wait, not to mention the land in the middle, the Qin family has already placed deposits on the 2 adjacent plots and has confirmed the sale to them. How could the Ai family dare to breach the contract, offend the Qin family, and sell to us at such a low price? Liu Ling smiled, raised the abacus high, and confidently explained, This is very simple, because the Qin family is paying in installments over 3 months while we can pay immediately. Manager Q still wondered, even if the Qin family is paying in installments, the price is still unreasonable. Is Mr. Yi in urgent need of money? And if that's the case, should the deposit from the Qin family be enough to support him? Liu Ling tapped the abacus and continued to speak. At first, Mr. Yi was really reluctant, so I had Mr. Yi forget about a debt. The Yi family's assets include 3 taverns and 2 iron workshops, which are not small in scale. The taverns operate normally, with daily profits of no more than 3,000 spirit coins. However, if we immediately invest 200,000, we could open Huang Sai Road, which could at least double the business. The iron shop produces 100,000 refined iron daily, estimated to be worth 20,000 spirit coins. However, the products from here don't have many treasures, like the Crimson Dragon Sword, which can only sell for about 300,000 to 400,000, yielding low profits that barely cover the losses. But if we invest 1 million spirit coins to purchase meteorites from the Qin Xi Empire, we can do some calculations. Comparing waiting 3 months to complete the loan with receiving money immediately and investing in expanding the business, we would earn a significantly greater profit after 3 months. Initially, the profit would be no more than 200,000 spirit coins. Afterward, it would be at least 1.07 million spirit coins. If we factor in the autumn exam, the profit would need to double. If it were you, what would you choose? Liu Ling spoke faster and faster, continuously throwing out numbers and began calculating with great precision. At first, everyone could understand a little, but as time went on, even Manager Ku had to admit a frightening truth. Although he had worked with numbers for decades, he could not keep up with new Liu Ling's mental calculations at all. He was so shocked that he was speechless, terrified to the point of collapsing to the ground, one hand gripping his shirt in an attempt to steady his heartbeat, exclaiming, "Who exactly are you? How can the Mu family have someone like you?" Mu Liu Ling replied with a faint smile, "As you said, I am just the footman of the young master." At this moment, Chu Tiem Xiao smiled to himself and thought, "Perhaps you know, Liu Ling has loved mathematics since childhood, but was suppressed by the family and always unable to showcase his innate talent. Moreover, with this celestial mathematical tome that I exchanged from the system, Liu Ling has become invincible." Chu Tiem Xiao took Liu Ling's hand and raised it as if announcing the winner, while declaring loudly, "I declare that from today, Mu Liu Ling is the steward candidate of Zai Mansion." Manager Chu was extremely angry upon seeing this. He thought to himself, "Well done, you hands and the prodigal son. How dare you humiliate me like this today? Don't blame me for looking for a new master." But little did he know that Chu Tiem Xiao had seen through his thoughts. He just smirked and sneered. This kind of rat is best suited to be put into a snake's den. At the Qin family villa at this moment, crash, a teacup was thrown down to the ground, hot tea splattering everywhere, just like Qin Yun's mood at this time. He clenched his fists, gritting his teeth and growled. "How is this possible? How could this be? That bitch actually did it. She really dared." Qin Jiao Jiao also dared not believe her ears, so she asked the servant again, "Zhang Yun, are you sure that Mu Liu Ling just needed to calculate a few numbers to turn the situation around?" The servant immediately responded, "Absolutely for sure. The Yai family has sent someone bringing quite a few rare and extraordinary treasures to apologize." Qin Yun, in anger, squatted down, then overturned the table with both hands, shouting, "Who cares about his treasures? I want that wasteland, my wasteland. Without the wasteland, how can I refine weapons? How can I improve my cultivation? How can I shock everyone at the autumn night banquet?" In a fit of rage, Qin Yun drew his sword and cursed. "Like Swan and that prodigal son, I, Qin Yun, will definitely kill your entire family." While Qin Yun was in a frenzy, Qin Jiao Jiao finally couldn't hold back and coldly snorted. "Yunner, you keep repeating the same thing. Don't you find it tiresome to say it so many times?" Hearing this, Qin Yun's expression stiffened. "Sister, what do you mean by that?" Qin Jiao Jiao looked at Qin Yun without speaking. Her mind was filled with thoughts. Alas, how could someone who was once so formidable become a reckless person, only shouting for killing like this? But that prodigal son really did something unexpected this time. Qin Jiao Jiao sighed, suppressed her emotions, and then said, "Yunner, regarding your inheritance, our family still has a few small plots of land that can be temporarily used." Qin Yun showed his displeasure and said angrily, "But this way, the time and efficiency will be greatly reduced. Returning to destiny, a most important thing is time. Even if the problem with the Ming Yuan stage is not significant, what about the transcendent stage and Dao stage? When will I ever be able to reach the level of a top master in Mingzhu? When will I be able to eliminate all those who dare to offend me? Sister, the more of a genius one is, the less they can afford to delay." Hearing this, Qin Jiao Jiao fell silent. "All right, Yunner is not wrong. Time is indeed very important for destiny. After all, he has already suffered such significant losses. I should still empathize with him a little." Qin Jiao Jiao smiled and said, "Yunner, don't be anxious. That prodigal son has said he wants to refine jewelry right. When the time comes, he will definitely suffer losses." Qin Yun's eyes lit up upon hearing this. "Sister, are you implying the Wasteland Guild?" Speaking of the Wasteland Guild, this is an official organization established by the government to prevent the wastage of wasteland resources. Whenever there is wasteland trading, the Wasteland Guild will come to inspect the production and the minimum monthly profit. If the requirements are not met within the deadline, the wasteland and auction rights will be forcibly reclaimed. Sister is absolutely right. As long as we rely on that prodigal son, he will undoubtedly suffer terrible losses. In that case, the Wasteland Guild will reclaim this wasteland auction. Sooner or later, it will belong to us. Qin Jiao Jiao nodded. That's right. However, the Chu family is a large clan, and there are quite a few refiners. Risking it all is not the best strategy. I'm afraid those old men will come up with plans for that prodigal son. Before she could finish her sentence, footsteps suddenly sounded beside them. The two turned their heads and saw a figure shrouded in a cloak slowly approaching. He coldly said, "It seems you need an ally." Qin Yun spoke up. "Who are you?" The figure removed the black robe, revealing a familiar chubby face. Just as Chu Tien Xiao had predicted, Magner Chu from the Chu family had indeed defected to the Qin family as an undercover agent. At the same time, in Chu family city, Chu Jin was reading the letter just delivered by a pigeon. He smirked. "Oh, who would have thought this prodigal son would have such good fortune? If I had known he was determined to confront the Qin family, I wouldn't have needed to spread so many rumors. It seems like a poor strategy now, but he can only go this far. Before Uncle and the others arrive in the city, the minions I arranged beforehand can be activated. The subordinate beside him spoke up. Do you need to use the pawn that was buried in the place years ago? Shu Jin slowly nodded, a mocking smile curling his lips. Indeed. Besides the royal land, there is also the invitation to the autumn night banquet. As the eldest son, if I don't even have an invitation, how can I still have the face to compete for the position of head of the family with me? The subordinate spoke with concern. But young master, can we really rely on that person? After all, the Chu family is not to be underestimated. Chu Jin smiled confidently. If it were under normal circumstances, it would indeed be difficult to achieve. But who says that Prodigal Son is currently facing internal troubles and external threats? Not to mention that Magnar Qin is secretly colluding with the Qin family and even reaching out to us with such dedication. Just Qin Jiao alone will absolutely not allow her precious younger brother to fall into a disadvantageous position. Chu Jin had once inadvertently seen Qin Jiao and Qin Yun in a questionable situation. He was confident that he could not misjudge a woman's feelings. The subordinate then spoke up. Yes, young master, I understand. I will go and do it right away. Left alone, Chu Jin held his treasured sword, a sinister smile on his lips along with a murderous intent. Chu Tian Xiao, I truly want to see how you will resolve this deadly situation. Having said that, he drew his sword and struck out with a fierce sword aura like a tornado, the sound of the wind howling like a hurricane. Chu Jin was very adept at controlling the sword chi. Chu Tian Xiao on this side is being cursed behind his back, causing him to sneeze unexpectedly. While wiping his nose, Chu Tian Xiao mutters, "This sneeze must be cursed by either Qin Yun or the Chu Jin guy. I need to quickly arrange my next plan so that they don't seize the advantage." Chu Tian Xiao sits looking at the system window while contemplating. The spirit Chidai cultivation vessel is a one-time use. Even with 1,500,000 spirit coins, I can't break through to the Manhwa stage. Rather than that, I might as well use it all for the golden lottery, increasing the chance of receiving random items. With 1,500,000 spirit coins for the lottery, I want treasures related to refining. Shu Tian Xiao proceeds to draw a prize. Opening the first chest, he immediately receives a light blue scroll. Inside it reads, Ancient Alchemy Manual, Tan Quian, Fragment Beautiful Model, Part 1. Shu Tian Xiao thinks to himself, indeed, a lot of money brings good things. This book, while not a complete version, is exactly what I need most for crafting jewelry. Wait a minute. Logically speaking, I have seized the wasteland from Qin Yun, so I should have suppressed the start of Destiny already. But why hasn't the side quest rewarded me with anything? Could it be that this isn't over yet? What could the variable be? At that moment, Mu Liu Ling rushed in and said anxiously, Young master, the people from the Wasteland Guild have arrived. The lady has gone to the main hall to welcome them and told me to inform you. Chu Tian Xiao sneered, the Wasteland Guild? Humph. So they've been waiting for me here. Outside the main hall, the representatives of the Wasteland Guild had arrived. The leading man respectfully greeted. Deputy Ambassador from the Wasteland Guild, Lang Chu, respectfully greets the first-rank lady. Chu Chao Shi replied gently, Deputy Ambassador Lang needs not be so formal. Please sit down and have some tea. Deputy Ambassador Lang, though still young, exuded an air of authority through his attire. He slowly said, The lady need not be polite. We are here simply to inquire about a couple of matters regarding your young master's acquisition of Wasteland. Chu Tian Xiao and Mu Liu Ling had just arrived. Chu Tian Xiao smiled and said, Deputy Ambassador Lang need not ask my mother, just ask me. Deputy Ambassador Lang then said, Oh, since young Master Chu is here, I will speak frankly. I have heard that this is young Master Chu's first encounter with the Wasteland. May I ask how many treasures you plan to produce each month? What will be the profit? Chu Tian Xiao sat down and replied, Oh, a monthly production of treasure should be 0. As for the profit, at this point, Chu Tian Xiao suddenly changed his tone. Deputy Ambassador Lang, you are completely failing at your job. I am a prodigal son, and you dare to discuss profit with me. As soon as these words were spoken, Deputy Ambassador Lang, though prepared to make things difficult, was now dumbfounded. He showed a look of disbelief. What? Is young Master Chu joking with us? Chu Tian Xiao calmly sipped his tea, took a sip, then responded, I have said numerous times that I want to refine jewelry. Why do you not believe me? After hearing this, Deputy Ambassador Lang turned to Chu Chao Shi, clasped his hands, and said, Madam, please forgive me. If the young master has made this decision, we will have to reclaim the wasteland at the beginning of next month. After all, the court has issued an order. The wasteland cannot be toyed with. The tone of these words has made the intention clear, no longer polite. Chu Chaoshi lightly smiled and said, Deputy Ambassador Liang, no more acting. Everyone is intelligent, just speak plainly. I also want to hear how the Wasteland Guild has set a boundary for my Xior. Deputy Ambassador Liang smiled and said, Every month, we must produce 600 treasures, of which 200 must be at least at the 7-stage Foundation realm, and 100 must be Ming Yuan treasures. The profit each month must be at least 2 million spirit coins. Chu Tian Xiao smiled upon hearing this. Haha, I knew it would be like this. Mu Lu Ling spoke angrily. With less than 3 acres of wasteland, they demand 600 treasures to be produced each month. It's truly absurd. Especially the Ming Yuan stage treasures. There are only about 2,000 in Tianju City. Furthermore, we only spent 1,500,000 original stones for the land, and in the first month, we must generate 2 million. It's simply unreasonable. At this moment, Chu Chao Shi was also angry. She slammed her hand on the table and stood up, speaking loudly. This Wasteland Guild is provoking our Chu family, isn't it? Has our Chu family given you too much face, huh? Seeing Chu Chao Shi so furious, Deputy Ambassador Liang was startled and said, Madam, please calm down. I wouldn't dare. This is all the intention of the higher-ups in the guild. I am merely here to report. Additionally, there is another matter for the palace that I must report to you. I have just received the imperial decree that the invitations for this year's autumn night banquet have been reduced. They have all been distributed by today. As soon as this was said, Chao Shi slowly stood up and brushed past, not even glancing at Deputy Ambassador Liang, only turning to Chu Tian Xiao and softly saying, Little Xiao, do you think your mother is usually too easy to talk to? A moment later, Chu Chao Shi looked at Deputy Ambassador Liang, her expression dramatically changing, her aura suddenly turning cold. Just a glance was enough to make one feel suffocated. Even those little dogs and cats dare to bully me and my son. Seeing Chao Shi suddenly show this expression, Deputy Ambassador Liang was suddenly terrified and broke out in a cold sweat. However, remembering the instructions from someone, he still tried to speak up. Madam Chu, this is all the will of the palace. Even if you kill me, it won't help anything. At this moment, Chu Tian Xiao let Chu Chao Shi sit down in her chair, massaging her shoulders while smiling and saying, Mother, why are you angry with those little cats and dogs? It's nothing major. I can handle it myself. Chu Chao Shi changed her expression and smiled brightly. Oh, that mother will see how little Xiao performs. Chu Tian Xiao turned and coldly asked, Deputy Ambassador Liang, according to Zhu Lo, I am from the Divine Marquis family of Mingzhu. How could there be no guest list for the autumn night banquet? At this moment, Deputy Ambassador Liang no longer had to confront Chao Shi, regaining some confidence as he coldly said, The Chu family naturally has one. Soon, young master Chu Huang will represent the Chu family at the autumn night banquet in Tianju City. Chu Tian Xiao smirked slightly. Ha ha, Chu Huang. Isn't he a capable subordinate of Chu Jin in the city? The Chu family in the city and the Chu family in Tianju have been separated for many years. This game is just a disguise to deceive. It's really too clumsy. Deputy Ambassador Liang spoke, his tone and expression clearly showing disdain. I dare to ask young Master Chu in the autumn night banquet, which do you excel in, martial arts or literature? A lazy person like you, who does not train diligently, is completely unworthy of participating in the autumn night banquet. As soon as he finished speaking, before Chu Tian Xiao could respond, a loud laugh suddenly rang out from outside the door. Manager Chu, with a smug expression, walked in and directed his attention straight at Chu Tian Xiao, holding a piece of remembrance jade in his hand, loudly proclaiming, Ha ha, aye. The old man can testify that Deputy Ambassador Liang is absolutely right. This guy is fond of play and pleasure, lazy in training, and besides creating trouble, he knows nothing else. With evidence from the Remembrance Jade, he is completely unqualified to participate in the autumn night banquet. Although the incident occurred suddenly, Chu Tian Xiao's expression did not change at all, as this was fundamentally within his calculations. He chuckled to himself. Humph, this traitor has finally betrayed at the right moment, taking this opportunity to cleanse the inner sect and save time on cleanup. At this moment, Chu Chao Shi looked towards Magnar Chu and said sternly, Ha ha, it seems everything has been arranged beforehand. Magnar Chu, is this how you repay the kindness of the old master? Magnar Chu laughed loudly. Ha ha, a wise person chooses where to work. The Qin family pays me 3 times the salary, while at the Chu family I work hard but have to endure this wasteful guy. I have negotiated with many old friends in the refining business and we are leaving together. Hearing this, the other servants in the house couldn't contain their anger and continuously cursed. Chu Ming's actions are too ruthless. Even if he doesn't like the young master, this is just too despicable. What tricks has Q Ming used to make 3 of our refiners leave? Chu Tianxiao scoffed. If that's the case, Liu Ling, don't spare this guy's face anymore. Let the whole mansion see how Q Ming operates under the guise of diligence. Liu Ling nodded gently and stepped forward, then took out a notebook and read aloud with confidence. At the beginning of July, the mansion purchased 15 pieces of glass, 2 screens, and 3 antiques. Qiu Ming was the one who handled it, and the total cost was 750,000 spirit coins. But according to my inspection, this batch is worth at most 300,000 spirit coins. While speaking, Liu Ling decisively thrust the notebook into Qiu Ming's face. He was startled and quickly said, "You better shut up." Chu Tianxiao slowly stepped forward and gently asked, "Liu Ling, according to Zhu law, what would be the punishment for embezzling more than 1 million? Liu Ling replied firmly, "The lightest would be the revocation of cultivation, the penalty involving nose cutting, and if it's more serious." Mayor Qiu was sweating profusely, gritting his teeth, and said, "This is just your one-sided claim." Deputy Ambassador Ling also spoke up, "Chu brother, don't worry, we won't sit back and do nothing." Chu Tianxiao scoffed. "Humph," before saying such words, "think about whether you can preserve your own skin." Qiu Ming was pulled outside by Deputy Ambassador Ling, but he was still very angry, trying to turn back and say, "Ha, then just wait and see." Chu Xiaoxi was very happy at this moment, exclaiming, "Little Xiao has become powerful now, even better at controlling the situation than Mother. Although in the wasteland, Mother temporarily has no good way either. If little Xiao wants the lives of these two, Mother still has a way." Chu Tianxiao smiled and replied, "Mother doesn't need to worry, I haven't had enough fun yet." As for the money and refiners, Chu Xiaoxi continued, "Mother understands everything will be according to your wishes." At this moment, Liu Ling approached, holding a list in hand. "Young master, by your order, I have selected 20 first-class refiners. It's just that." Although Liu Ling tried to hide it, there was still a hint of worry in her voice. Chu Tianxiao didn't even bother to look and simply replied, "Don't worry, the manpower in the mansion is lacking. First-class jewelry refining is enough. Anything higher would just be a waste." Liu Ling continued, "Currently, the total amount of money that can be used in the residence is 3,500,000 spirit coins." Chu Tianxiao was not surprised at all and said, "Yes, I guessed that. I heard that there was a significant hole on my father's side, which consumed quite a bit of money." Liu Ling questioned, 3,500,000 is not a small amount. I just heard that the Qin family suddenly invested 5 million, not only purchasing Wasteland, but also spending heavily to buy high-quality embryos." Chu Tianxiao was surprised. 5 million? Where did the Qin family get that money? Liu Ling replied, "One is borrowing heavily from Baoxuan Gold Bank, and 2 is that it's not fully investigated yet." Chu Tianxiao immediately guessed and smiled, saying, "Humph, no need to investigate further. Aside from Chu Jin, there's no one else. I didn't expect him to even work against us for the position of the family head." Liu Ling hesitated and said, "Then, young master, what should we do now?" Chu Tianxiao continued, "Yes, it's fine if we're short on money, we just have to cut back on spending." Liu Ling felt relieved upon hearing this. Fortunately, the young master still saw the situation clearly and was no longer blindly squandering. As soon as he finished speaking, Chu Tianxiao led Liu Ling to shop for the largest treasures in Tianju City. Those outside looking in marveled in admiration. Anyone who could enter the Baoxuan Pavilion for a stroll is wealthy. That's right, the cheapest incense burner here starts at 200,000 spirit coins, especially the legendary incense burner from this shop, valued at 3.4 million spirit coins. At that moment, Chu Tianxiao stood right in front of the treasure display. He didn't even bother to look closely, just wildly gesturing. "This one, this one, this one, that one of each." The shop owner was thrilled to see Chu Tianxiao buying so much. "Oh my, young master Chu is indeed the most generous person in the world." Liu Ling then understood what it's difficult to change someone's nature meant. She couldn't help but exclaim, "Poof, how can you talk about being frugal?" Chu Tianxiao naturally understood Liu Ling's feelings, so he said, "Liu Ling, you don't understand. The tougher it gets, the more you need to spend." Liu Ling hesitated. "Yes, but the young master has already bought too much." Seeing Chu Tianxiao spending money so extravagantly, the others in the courtyard were curiously discussing, "Isn't this the prodigal son of the Chu family? Besides him, who in Tianju City could buy an incense burner so carelessly? Humph, if he wants to play the fool, why not just ask for the legendary treasure of the store directly?" Hearing this, Chu Tianxiao half closed his eyes and said to the shopkeeper, "Boss, please come out and bring your treasure." The The shopkeeper happily replied, "No problem, young Master Chu." After saying that, he brought out an incense burner wrapped in red cloth, intricately carved. Upon seeing it, everyone felt it was extraordinarily mysterious. The others gasped. Everyone knew that refining weapons was different from refining medicines. The incense burner was absolutely not the deciding factor. The embryo device was what really mattered. This incense burner was indeed very impressive. If one could use this incense burner to refine weapons, it would be exceptional. It's just that the price is a bit. That's right. Moreover, this is an ancient incense burner. The art of refining weapons has been passed down for a long time, and this item is merely for display. Haha, only a fool would buy it. Just return the result, no explanation needed. Unexpected yet not surprising, Chu Tian Xiao took out a crystal card and decisively said, "Boss, I want this incense burner. Let's be straightforward, are you selling it?" Holding the crystal card confidently in his hand, Chu Tian Xiao extended it forward and said, "Shopkeeper, I want to buy this incense burner for 3 million. Round number, please. Are you selling it?" Hearing these words, everyone around was stunned and exclaimed, "What?" At that moment, Ling could not say anything, resting her arm on her forehead and fainting. Well, this young master cannot be saved anymore. Not seeing the shopkeeper respond for a long time, Chu Tian Xiao pretended to leave, not planning to sell it. If not, then forget it. The shopkeeper hurriedly replied, "Yes, of course. Young Master Chu really knows how to bargain well, including the earlier ones. The total is..." Ling quickly whispered in the young master's ear, "Our money is about to run out." Chu Tian Xiao then turned to the shopkeeper and said, "Shopkeeper, I'm not interested in those small incense burners from earlier. I only want this one." The manager smiled and said, "No problem, young Master Chu. Next time we have good goods, I will inform you first." On the way back, Ling couldn't help but wonder, "Young Master Chu, you want to refine jewelry? There's no need for an expensive incense burner like this. Now we are in trouble. We haven't even bought the embryos device and our money is running out." Chu Tian Xiao smiled gently and said, "No need for the embryos device. Last time, I bought a batch of jewelry from Huang Yun Gudao. Just use them to refine." Ling worriedly said, "But young master, that batch of jewelry is all fake. You must have been deceived back then." Chu Tian Xiao thought to himself, "That was before I took over this body. This body was indeed careless, buying things without looking, but that doesn't matter." He turned to Ling and said, "Ling, trust me. Just follow me to a place and you will understand." Ling eagerly asked, "Where is that?" Chu Tian Xiao replied lightly, "Kingru Building." Ling, hearing this, became disheartened and covered her eyes, not wanting to look anymore. Oh my, what was I even looking forward to? Meanwhile, at the Qin family's main hall, a burst of wild laughter erupted. "Ha ha ha ha, wasting money is still wasting money." In the hall, the two sisters, Qin Yun, were joking around, while Ku Steward was mockingly recounting, "Just waiting around has been ridiculous enough. Now he also likes the treasures from the shop. They asked for 2.8 million and he insists on paying 3 million to buy." Qin Yun and Qin Jiao felt extremely amused hearing this. Ku Steward snorted disdainfully and continued, "Humph, I know the situation of the Chu family better than anyone. Right now, they can at most offer him just over 3 million. He jumped in with 3 million without even buying an embryos device. What can he possibly refine, haha?" Chu Tian Xiao laughed and said, "Wait until our first batch of treasures is released. That wasteful guy will be doomed." Qin Jiao chuckled softly, mocking, "Haha, the son of Zai Marquis is indeed born with too much privilege." At this moment, a subordinate entered to report, "Acting head, the Chu family has just sent someone to deliver an invitation." Qin Jiao's expression changed in surprise. "What, an invitation from the Chu family?" Curious, Qin Jiao opened the letter to read. "The first jewelry exhibition of Tiananju City will take place tomorrow. At that time, I will display the first batch of jewelry refined by the Chu family of Tiananju. I sincerely invite you to come and see how you fail. Signed, the Prodigal Son, who is both handsome and adorable." After finishing reading, Qin Jiao chuckled softly. "I'll write very well. I want to see what this Prodigal Son can do." The next morning, the jewelry exhibition of Tiananju City was bustling with activity. Countless people and guests came to watch. Qin Jiao and Qin Yun sat on the upper floor looking down and commented, "I didn't expect that the Prodigal Son would have so many supporters, so many people." Qin Yun replied, "Surely they all came to mock him just like us." Manager Q agreed, "That's right, Miss Qin. Today, our first batch of treasures has produced 200 items, including 100 items from the 7th realm of Foundation Stage. Over 10 Ming Yuan treasures, among which 3, after additional processing in a few days, could reach the middle stage of Ming Yuan Stage." Qin Jiao Jiao appeared satisfied. Great. The success of this batch of treasures is all thanks to the efforts of Manager Chu in bringing skilled refiners. Manager Chu humbly responded, Not at all. If we talk about contributions, Qin Yun Master is the one who deserves the credit. Hearing this, Qin Yun smiled with self-satisfaction. Well, that's obvious. Here we can say it's a perfect combination of favorable time, favorable geography, and harmonious relationships. Next, Deputy Ambassador Liang should also showcase his talents. Deputy Ambassador Liang, sitting beside them, smiled and spoke up. Rest assured, everyone, the strong opposition between the Qin and Chu families doesn't need to wait until the beginning of next month. Today, as long as that prodigal son is ridiculous enough, I will immediately announce the reclamation of the wasteland. Qin Yun seemed to be confident of victory, smiling as he said, That sounds good. Just return the result. No explanation needed. At the same time, at King Rebuilding, Chu Tiem Xiao asked the courtesans loudly, Ladies, almost time to go on stage. I will emphasize this once again. As if they had memorized it by heart, the courtesans simultaneously read aloud. First, the movements must highlight the jewelry. It should make women want to snatch our jewelry, not make men want to strip us. Second, the walk and demeanor must embody the attributes of the jewelry, which can be noble, gentle, or cold as ice. Chu Tiem Xiao nodded in satisfaction. Very good. You all remember what I said. Liu Ling spoke up. All right, everyone remembers clearly now. Let's prepare to go on stage. Chu Tiem Xiao smiled and continued. Finally, I will remind you once again of our slogan. The courtesans shouted in unison. We are here to show off our wealth. Crushing others is just a side task. We are going to blind the Qin family's eyes. Outside the exhibition, the desire to win only made the two sisters of the Qin family more anxious. Qin Jiao Jiao wondered, Why haven't they shown up yet? Qin Yun sneered. Humph, he must be scared. Is he trying to evade responsibility? Suddenly, at that moment, Qin Yun saw a man carrying a long stone block on his back walking up to the stage. Qin Yun felt that this object was very familiar. Qin Jiao Jiao looked at it and said, This is a grinding stone, the hardest stone from Mingzhu. Only treasures from level 7 and above in refining can leave marks. This stone is completely out of place. Why bring it up at this time? What does he want to do? At this moment, Qin Yun remained very subjective, showing boredom, yawning a few times. Humph, it's definitely jewelry that cannot be refined. He's just pretending to be mysterious. The man carried the stone pillar up and then stood it upright in the middle of the stage. After that, he declared loudly down below, Welcome everyone to the first jewelry exhibition in Tianzhu City. We will start with a stunning dance performance. Right after that, a woman dressed in a light dance costume and adorned with many expensive jewelry appeared. Among them, a beautifully crafted jade hairpin stood out. The other young women below looked on with great admiration, each of them gazing with eyes that longed for a hairpin like that. This jade hairpin was truly exquisite, as if it could radiate a glow. I had never seen such a beautiful hairpin before. Qin Jiao Jiao, sitting above, also showed some interest. The dance was very beautiful, and the person was very beautiful as well. The jade hairpin looked even more exquisite. Indeed, I had somewhat looked down on him. Qin Yun maintained a disdainful attitude, stating that he was just someone with a wealthy father who produced some flashy but worthless items. After all, the value of treasures and jewelry is as different as heaven and earth. At this moment, the artistic performance had also ended. The woman raised her hand to her head and gently pulled out the jade hairpin. Then, facing the grinding stone, she swiftly made 2 cuts, swish, swish. An invisible ripple spread out, and the hardest grinding stone of Mingzhu surprisingly had 2 deep dents appear. This demonstrated that the hairpin was at least a 7-stage treasure of the Foundation realm, or higher. This directly left both sisters of the Qin family and Magator Q stunned, standing up and exclaiming, What is this? Qin Yun stammered, unable to speak. Is 7-stage of Foundation realm a treasure? While the Qin family was still in extreme shock, Chu Tiem Xiao was leisurely enjoying tea, thinking to himself, Ancient alchemy manual along with ancient incense burner, Qin family, Chu family city, Wasteland Guild, let me see how I can make you all look foolish. After witnessing the appearance of a 7-stage of Foundation realm treasure in the hands of that beautiful woman, everyone around began to excitedly discuss. Oh my, this hairpin is not only beautiful, but also a treasure. If I could possess something like this in this life, it would be worth dying for. Some even demanded out of sheer admiration, Dad, no matter how much money it takes, you must buy me one. At this moment, Qin Jiao Jiao still couldn't believe her eyes. How is this possible? A 7-stage of Foundation realm treasure is worth more than all the scrap metal he's ever used combined. Qin Yun angrily said, This isn't right. This must be a scam. They must have used treasures to mix in. Manager Chu agreed, saying young Master Qin is absolutely right. The Chu family has a large business. Even taking items from home can yield treasures like that. Deputy Ambassador Liang, sitting next to him, was also furious, gritting his teeth and hissing, "Dan, as long as I discover they're cheating, I will immediately reclaim the wasteland." At that moment, a servant serving tea looked straight down and said, "But the fluctuation of spiritual energy just now clearly indicates that this treasure was just recently refined." Hearing this, Manager Chu turned around and disdainfully said, "I've already said it, the Chu family has a large business. They can afford to buy even freshly refined items." Deputy Ambassador Liang also insulted, "What kind of lowly creature are you to dare question young Master Qin's words?" At this moment, Qin Yun temporarily swallowed his resentment and snorted coldly. Below the stage, the jewelry exhibition of Tianju City officially began. Group 1, Fang Lang Group, appears. As those words were spoken, a group of women gracefully glided out from behind. Each woman had a different demeanor, but all walked lightly like clouds and winds towards the stage. The first woman raised a jade ring in her hand, then waved her hand as if to strike a palm attack at the grinding stone. Instantly, spiritual energy dispersed, and simultaneously, a deep crack appeared on the grinding stone. This is the treasure's 8th stage of Foundation Realm, the white jade ring. Qin Jiao Jiao stared in surprise. Another treasure's 8th stage of Foundation Realm. Qin Yun gritted his teeth in anger and said, "I'm going to see how long he can endure." Before Qin Yun's anger could subside, the next woman casually walked over. Wearing an exquisite bracelet on her wrist, she also elegantly performed a few moves, executing some gentle techniques which created another crack on the grinding stone. This is the treasure's 9th stage of Foundation Realm, the gilded bracelet. The next woman approached, wearing a jingling bell on her ankle, and showcased her jewelry with a few graceful movements before kicking out, causing yet another crack to appear on the grinding stone. This shaking of her leg is the treasure's 10th stage of Foundation Realm, the Jade Footbell. Next is a young woman with captivating emerald eyes and willow-like eyebrows. She wears gilded and jade-inlaid earrings, treasures of the 11th stage of the Foundation Realm. On her pinky finger, she wears gilded gemstone armor, treasures of the 12th stage of the Foundation Realm. All the women standing below went wild, screaming uncontrollably. Seeing this pile of treasure made them lose control, shouting until their throats were hoarse. "I can't take it anymore. These pieces of jewelry, no treasures. Even the first-tier refiners of Mingzhu can't create such beautiful items. I swear I'll sell my whole estate to get one." At this moment, Qin Yun's face darkened, gritting his teeth and growling, "Damn it, the Chu family can buy so many good items." Below the stage, a young woman slowly approached. Everyone below went crazy, shouting, "What? Are there Ming Yuan stage treasures?" Given the spiritual power and light emitted from this hairpin, it must be Ming Yuan stage, no doubt. Oh my, is this really jewelry? This young woman leisurely walked forward, holding a hairpin. Once she reached the grinding stone, she held the tip of the hairpin and steadily thrust it straight into the grinding stone. The stone slab that contained many discarded marks was now broken by this gentle stab. Fragments of stone flew wildly and the spiritual energy dispersed frantically. Qin Yun couldn't help but stand up and bang the table. "Mingzhu and treasures, how is this possible?" Qin Jiao Jiao, beside him, questioned Magner Q skeptically. "Chu Ming, didn't you say the Chu family could give that prodigal son at most 3 million? How could he have spent all 3 million on the incense burner? The remaining amount is clearly not enough to buy these brand new treasure ornaments." Magner Chu at this moment also didn't understand what was happening, only knowing to stammer a reply. "I don't know about this either, old man." At that moment, Chu Tm Xiao called out from inside. "The Fang Lang jewelry is light yet powerful, aimed at protecting the girls from being bullied." As soon as these words were spoken, the crowd below became more stirred. "That's the voice of young Master Chu. Where is he? Is he using treasures to convey his voice to us?" Chu Tm Xiao was in the room, holding a speaker in his hand, and slowly continued speaking. "Moreover, these treasures require extremely low usage, so even an ordinary person can unleash 5/10 of the power of the treasures. Just now, the final blow was 5/10 of the power of the Ming Yuan treasures at the low stage. Let me ask you, how many people here can withstand that blow?" The people outside nodded in agreement. After all, if we were to take such a blow, we would definitely be reduced to pulp and bones. An ordinary person can also unleash 5/10 of the power of the treasures, which is already quite formidable. "That's right. This means that anyone can use it. This is exactly the jewelry I have always desired." Chu Tm Xiao then continued. "The Fang Lang Group jewelry, this batch has only 120 sets, of which 30 sets are from the Ming Yun low stage. If you want to buy, wait for the next group to finish their presentation and find my steward, New Liu Ling, to purchase. Whoever comes first gets it first. Qin Yun was stunned and stood up exclaiming, 120 sets of treasures, and there are 30 sets from the Ming Yuan stage among them. Qin Jiao was also at a loss for words. Is there really going to be another group? Manager Q stammered, unable to articulate anything. Deputy Ambassador Liang had no more excuses and could only grit his teeth in silence. At that moment, an announcement rang out, next group, prepare. As soon as the words were spoken, two men appeared holding a black cloth, which they spread out in front of the stage. The cloth was large and black, causing fear among the women below. What is this for? What kind of fabric is this? I've never seen anything like it. It looks so strange. Another voice echoed, show of your wealth group, appear. As soon as the words were spoken, another group of stunning women stepped forward gracefully. Each adorned with brilliant jewelry, they looked even more exquisite and high-end than before. The courtyard was now buzzing with excitement. Oh, they are coming. Isn't that the top girl from Kingru Building, Miss Ying Xiu? Miss King is also here. They are all famous girls from Kingru Building, typically so rare they are worth a fortune to see. Is this batch of jewelry all from the middle stage of Minion stage? Oh my. It really is all from the middle stage of Minion stage. This batch of jewelry is even more exquisite and special than the previous one. Qin Yun was horrified. On the stage, there were 15 pieces of jewelry from the middle stage of Minion stage. This had never happened in Mingzhou. Could it really be that he had refined them? Qin Yun, gritting his teeth in anger, said, Master, didn't you say that the technique for refining weapons you passed on to me is unique in the world? Why is he able to refine more and better than me? The mysterious old man in the relic black ring appeared, observing for a while before saying, my weapon refining technique is based on the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, with soul power aiding the fire. It is the highest level refining technique in Mingzhou. To surpass us is absolutely impossible. In the room at that moment, Chu Tian Xiao seemed to guess the underlying situation, leisurely sipping tea and thinking. Qin Yun, no matter how much depth he has, how can he compare to my ancient alchemy manual and ancient incense burner? Humph! I think Qin Yun is definitely about to succumb to inner demons again. I hope he can hold on a little longer, because the best part is just beginning. At this moment, Qin Yun felt as if he had been slapped in the face, embarrassedly sitting down, holding his head and murmuring, what can I say? Absolutely nothing. They have already slapped me in the face. Seeing her younger brother in such despair, Qin Jiao was extremely worried. Yunner's inner demons are likely rising again. I cannot let that prodigal son continue to provoke him. But before she could think of a countermeasure, Qin Jiao was left stunned again. She saw a woman holding a middle stage of Minion stage treasure, a jade ring, nonchalantly and without hesitation dropping it onto the black cloth. Then a strange force rushed over and directly smashed the jade ring into pieces. After smashing it, the woman turned around and gently smiled, saying, the young master said that any items with poor colors should be thrown away. The middle stage of Minion stage is just trash. The entire hall suddenly fell silent, then suddenly erupted with exclamations, oh my, what is this situation of group? Show of your wealth group. Qin Yun and Qin Jiao were both shocked by what they witnessed. Qin Yun gripped the railing tightly, his throat stiff as he struggled to speak. Is it really possible for a middle stage Minion stage treasure to be smashed like that? Before they could recover, another woman stepped up. Without hesitation, she took out a middle stage Minion stage hairpin and threw it down below. In an instant, it shattered into pieces. The woman smiled and said, the young master mentioned that he only wanted to hear one sound. Everyone below gasped, another Ming Yuan treasure has been destroyed. Is it possible that all middle stage Minion stage treasures will be ruined next? What a show-off. This is completely a waste of heavenly treasures. While those below were still lamenting over the destruction of the treasures, another woman approached. This woman had legs that reached her waist, her ankles adorned with jingling treasures as she elegantly walked back and forth a few steps. Then she stomped down hard, causing the jingling treasures to break into fragments. The young master said that these treasures are all wonderful, but he doesn't like them. The following scenes of destruction made the citizens' hearts ache deeply. There were jade bangles and earrings, all of which were Ming Yuan stage treasures, being smashed to pieces without mercy by that group of women. Crazy. This is insane. Everyone in the courtyard was completely at a loss for words. What did they see? What did they hear? They encounter a rich young master, and with just one word out of place, they smash treasures. They can casually break Ming Yuan stage treasures for show, and they don't hesitate at all. This is Ming Yuan stage treasures. How many people toil their whole lives, not to mention possessing them, have even had the opportunity to see the middle stage of the Minion stage with their own eyes? Today there was a chance to see them, and yet it has turned out like this. Below the stage, a group of men felt as if their hearts had broken. A group of women was heartbroken to the point of wanting to die, as if those pieces of jewelry were their very lives. Please don't smash anymore. If you have to break something, break me instead. Don't destroy anymore, save some for others. Manager Q's face darkened, looking like a rock. Oh my! The power of this prodigal son is terrifying. Am I standing on the wrong side? Deputy Ambassador Ling at that moment had to swallow hard. Just counting the things he has smashed, it seems that it's enough to meet our monthly revenue target of 2 million. Qin Jiao looked at Qin Yun with concern. If he keeps smashing like this, let alone anyone else, even I'm about to give in to inner demons. Qin Yun, at this moment, felt as if he encountered a ghost. He had always believed he had reached the pinnacle of Kiai refinement techniques in Tianju City and even in Mingzhou. This time he thought that he would not lose to that prodigal son. He had been confident that he was well prepared to crush everything, but when he proudly thought he had refined a treasure with the potential to break through to the middle stage of the minion stage, others seemed to easily grasp that type of treasure and play with it. No, I am destiny. What is that prodigal son? I haven't even refined to the middle stage of the minion stage. What does he rely on? Qin Yun's thoughts were reaching a breaking point. Ming Liu confidently stepped onto the stage wearing a dazzling hairpin filled with spiritual energy atop her head. The crowd below exclaimed, "Look, Miss Ming Liu is on stage." The hairpin on her head, could it be an upper-level treasure of the minion stage? Qin Jiao was also stunned and remarked, "An upper-level treasure of the minion stage? It must be hard work of that prodigal son. Even if it's flaunting, there must be a conclusion. It can't just be destroyed endlessly." Qin Yun couldn't think further, desperately shouting, "Impossible. He won't destroy it. This is just a trick, just a trick." Manhwa Q said in fear, "If this is also destroyed, I'm afraid my good days are over." Deputy Ambassador Lion gritted his teeth and said, "Not just you. I'm afraid my official robes will also be stripped from me." At this moment, Ming Liu, on stage, simply revealed a faint smile, gently removed the hairpin, and softly said, "The young master said, if you have money, there's no need for reasoning. If you have money, you can do what you please." Seeing Ming Liu's actions, everyone below felt terrified and mumbled in pleading. Ming Liu on stage paid no attention, merely smiling faintly. What is the use of having so much money? Then he let the hairpin fall down. Clang. The upper-level treasures of Minion stage shattered into pieces. Qin Yun let out a scream. No. A mouthful of blood spewed out with his shout. Immediately after, he lost consciousness and fell backward. Qin Jiao hurriedly caught him, shouting, "Yunner!" At that moment, Chu Tian Xiao spoke up from inside. "The show of your wealth has finished. Next, I want to ask everyone, aside from being astonished, did anyone notice the black cloth on the stage?" At this moment, everyone became aware and started discussing. "Oh my god, I almost forgot. How could the treasures of Mingyu on stage be so easily broken?" Hearing this, Qin Jiao guessed, "Could it be that legendary item?" Chu Tian Xiao replied, "That's right. This is the legendary Tongshuan realm fire-washing cloth, which I happen to forge this time. Next, I will study whether it can be made into beautiful clothing." Hearing that, the people below joyfully discussed, "Oh my, what else can we say besides wanting to have it?" At this moment, Qin Jiao above seemed to accept defeat, gritting her teeth and bitterly saying, "Let's go." The announcement rang out again. The Fanglang Jewelry Group has not been smashed. Anyone who wants it can find Mu Liu Ling. After all, it might be a long time before we practice again. Everyone below rushed to find Mu Liu Ling, squinting. I want it. Shu Tian Xiao inside finally dared to let out a relaxed sigh and then lay down on the bed. It's finally over. Next is to have a good sleep, just waiting for the noble person to arrive in Tianju City. At the same time, at the front line of Huang Yun Hudao, the wind howled violently. Suddenly, a convoy appeared in the sandstorm. At this moment, a voice came from within the carriage. "The sandstorm is too strong. Let's set up camp and rest here." Right after that, a handsome man stepped out of the car, holding a paper fan, looking at the surroundings. Without thinking, he recited, "Yellow sand and white grass are endless. I am afraid of hearing the sound of water and feel so sad." This man is the seventh prince of Mingzhou, Lu Tian Yuan. Moments later, a delicate young girl poked her head out of the car and asked, "Brother Huang, why have we stopped again?" This young woman is the little princess of Mingzhou, Lu Meyer. Lu Meyer got out of the car and walked over to Tian Yuan asking, "Father told us to go to Tianju City to host the autumn night banquet. Along the way, keep finding reasons to stop and set up camp. Dragging it out like this, if we miss the deadline, how will we explain it to father?" Tian Yuan patted his little sister's head and kindly said, "Meyer, you don't know yet. The autumn night banquet this time is really too deep in internal affairs. Meyer worriedly asked, "What is really going on?" Tian Yuan replied, "Currently, the situation in the city is unpredictable. Duke Qin has allied with the Divine Marquis against Marquis Zai Yi. The court has two Grand Chancellors. Grand Chancellor Mo clearly supports the Qin family. Grand Chancellor Wu has not shown his stance yet, but he also has no intention of supporting Marquis Zai Yi. To balance things out, Father sent us to Tianzhu City this year to assist Marquis Zai Yi." Meyer wondered, "If that's the case, shouldn't we ride faster?" Tian Yuan shook his head slightly. "Oh, the trouble lies here. Someone has been secretly plotting against us on our way here." Little Princess was surprised. "Who is it? How did they act against us?" Tian Yuan replied, "An old man at my side has been bought off, or he is originally one of the opponent's people. Using the excuse of the young master being incompetent, he has given Tianzhu Chu family's share to the Chu family in the city." Little Princess was alarmed. "What? Are we bringing disaster upon ourselves by coming to Tianzhu City? Zai Yi Marquis protects those he loves, and he may see us as irreconcilable enemies. Moreover, this goes against Father's wishes." Tian Yuan sighed. "I've been thinking a lot during the past few days on the road. Right now, we can only sever ties. Whoever wins will receive support. If not, the reputation of hesitance will reach Father's ears, and don't even think about the throne. As for balancing matters, I will report to Father later, and we will figure it out gradually." The princess furrowed her brow and said, "But given the current situation of the Chu family, it seems difficult to turn things around. I do not like the Qin family, and I like Grand Chancellor Mo even less. I do not wish to ally with them." Tian Yuan chuckled softly. "You are no different from me." At that moment, a subordinate approached, presenting a letter with both hands and said, "Seventh Prince, there is news from Tianzhu City." Tian Yuan was surprised. "Oh, has the winner been decided so quickly?" Tian Yuan took the letter and read it. A few seconds later, he displayed an admiring expression, involuntarily breaking into a smile. "Ha ha, how interesting. That squandering fellow really knows how to play. He dared to smash it to establish his dominance and has given orders to set off immediately. We will enter Tianzhu City tonight. Also send a message to the Wasteland Guild. That gift can be dispatched now." The servant replied, "Yes, your highness." At the east of the city, in the Chang family residence, an old man dressed in a brown robe stood. This man was none other than the Chang family patriarch. In a voice filled with anger, he shouted at his subordinates, "Worthless! I gave you so many days, and yet you only managed to secure half of the Chu family's treasure agency rights." The man kneeling below was Manager Yun, who humbly replied, "Please calm your anger, master. The truth is, the Jin family from the west side of the city acted far too quickly." The Chang family patriarch roared, "Worthless, and you still dare to make excuses?" Just then, a servant rushed in from outside, panting as he reported, "Master, there is good news. The Jin family from the west of the city is no longer competing with us. They've already withdrawn." The Chang family patriarch was surprised. "Ha! Why did they withdraw? What happened?" The servant, smiling, said, "Ha ha! It seems the Jin family took some bad medicine and ran off to claim the rights to some jewelry agency." The Chang family patriarch, puzzled, asked, "Jewelry? What jewelry?" At that moment, another panic-stricken subordinate rushed in to report, "Sir, it's bad. Tianzhu City is going crazy. The whole city has lost its mind." The Chang family patriarch was anxious. "What's all the panic about? What's going on? Speak clearly so I can understand." At Chu Tian Xiao's location, everyone was scrambling to buy treasures from him. They didn't even care about the initial prices, directly competing with each other and raising the prices several times over. "I initially offered 200,000 spirit coins. This belongs to me. Don't dream. This model catches my eye more. I offer 300,000. How annoying. You already have two items. Why compete with me? I like it." While these two were arguing, another person took the opportunity to step forward. "Quiet down. I offer 500,000. This item is mine." Upon hearing this, the Chang family patriarch exclaimed in astonishment, "Crazy, really crazy." The subordinate spoke up, "Sir, the treasures of the Chu family that the Jin family doesn't take belong to us. I will contact them right away." The Chang family patriarch suddenly kicked a subordinate and shouted, "Contact your brain. Quickly take all our assets out. Prepare gifts, prepare cars. I will personally go to the Zai Yi Marquis mansion." The subordinate hesitated. "What about the Chu family, sir?" The Chang family patriarch snapped, "What Chu family at this time? Hurry up and prepare. If we delay, there will be nothing left to earn money from." At the Jin family in West City, things were also urgently underway. The Jin family head quickly commanded, "Increase the manpower, double the list of gifts, then bring them to the Zai Yi Marquis mansion. Hurry up, don't let the Cheng family notice and act first. North of the city, the Hao family was the same. The head of the Hao family was going to the Zai mansion with his daughter. Don't worry, my dear daughter, I will buy everything for you. This Hao was excited. I want the most expensive ones, smash them for fun. We have to show off our wealth. At the Nan family in the south of the city, the patriarch was carrying a pile of wealth to buy jewelry from Chu Tian Xiao. The servants had to hold his legs to stop the patriarch. This is not right. If you take all our assets, what will happen to our other businesses? The Nan family patriarch replied, You are too stupid. As long as we secure the jewelry dealership, it doesn't matter if the other businesses close down. At this moment, in the Zai mansion courtyard, Chu Tian Xiao and Mu Lu Ling are taking a stroll. Mu Lu Ling exclaimed in admiration, Young master, you are truly amazing. Our first batch of jewelry has been completely raided. Aside from the money spent on buying the barren land and incense burners, we have also made a considerable profit. I heard that Qin Yun was so furious he had to be carried away. Chu Tian Xiao laughed heartily in response. Ha ha! Now do you still dare to call me a spendthrift? Mu Lu Ling replied shyly. Lu Ling sees her mistake now, young master. In the past, my perspective was too narrow. Looking back, ever since you started throwing money to appraise the barren land, you had been planning for a long time. Chu Tian Xiao nodded slightly. It's not too late for you to realize now, and your analysis is quite good. Lu Ling wondered. It's just that no matter how we are, I never expected that the young master also understands the ancient method of refining qi. This has clearly disappeared for a long time. Chu Tian Xiao felt uneasy upon hearing this and stammered, looking for an excuse. Ha ha, I just happened to buy some trinkets. It's all just coincidental. Liu Ling exclaimed, the young master indeed has great fortune. But, young master, there is still one thing I don't understand. The treasures from the Mingyuan stage are all priceless. Aren't you really reluctant to break them all? Chu Tian Xiao explained, using these things to impress the nobleman is worth far more. Getting a ticket to the autumn night banquet is such a bargain. At that moment, a subordinate came over to report, Young master, the 4 great wealthy merchants of Tianju City from the east, west, south, and north have come to see you. They almost fought outside the door. Chu Tian Xiao yawned and said, I'm feeling sleepy now, so I'm going to bed. Liu Ling, you take care of negotiating with them. Liu Ling clasped her hands in acceptance. Yes, young master. At that time, in the Wasteland Guild, the chairman, holding a long sword with a grim expression and a fierce aura, shouted loudly, Liang Qiu, Deputy Ambassador Liang, you are really bold. I have just secluded myself for less than 7 days, and you have caused such a big incident. Liang Qiu was then kneeling on the ground, trembling with fear, stuttering as he spoke. Chairman, The chairman waved his hand to interrupt. All right, don't explain anymore. It's too late for you to say anything now. If you do something, you should think about the consequences from the beginning. Hearing this, Liang Qiu's voice trembled even more. Chairman Do you really want to expel me from the guild? The chairman squinted at Liang Qiu and disdainfully said, Expel you from the guild? Ha ha! Do you think it's that simple? Do you really think that a small trick like that can deceive the 7th prince? Liang Qiu was sweating profusely, feeling puzzled all over. What does this have to do with the 7th prince? The chairman coldly said, Stop pretending. You plan to secure victory, but you have no idea how clever the 7th prince is. How could he be easily dragged into murky waters? If you had won, then it would be a different story, but now you have lost. Do you still have any face left? Right now, you are just a lost dog, a discarded pawn that everyone has abandoned. As he spoke, the chairman of the Wasteland Guild pressed his sword against Liang Qiu's neck. Liang Qiu, in a panic, said, No, chairman, you cannot touch me. Behind me is City Chu. No, it is Grand Chancellor Mo. Before he could finish his sentence, the chairman of the Wasteland Guild struck, directly hitting Liang Qiu's head. Fresh blood splattered from the blade. You fool. I told you you are a discarded pawn. Even when you die, no one will collect your body. The chairman loudly ordered his subordinates. Someone take his head and prepare a generous gift along with an invitation to the autumn night banquet and deliver everything to the residents of Marcus Zai. Moreover, those who came with Liang Qiu to provoke the Tianju Chu family, expel them all from the guild. By the way, find a way to reclaim the large wastelands of the Qin family. At the Qin family home, Qin Yun was in a coma, lying helplessly on the bed with an increasingly gloomy appearance. Qin Jiao Jiao sat next to him, concerned and caring. At this moment, Manager Q was pacing back and forth as if his feet were stung by ants. His complexion was not good either. His face was pale, and he was sweating profusely. He was anxiously thinking to himself, What should I do? What should I do? Liang Q was suddenly summoned by the Wasteland Guild, and there hasn't been any news yet. How foolish. Why is this old man, who was comfortably at the Zai Marca's residence, having to deal with this? It's over. This time it's really over. At that moment, a young man entered the room. He was the eldest son of the Qin family, Qin Yang. He smirked and said, Qin Jiao Jiao, the head of the family has news. He says that you are not worthy of being the vice head of the family at all. Qin Jiao Jiao coldly retorted, Oh, the head of the family surely isn't planning to demote me from the position of vice head and have you take my place, right? Qin Yang angrily replied, You humph! The head of the family said this time there must be no repeats. Qin Jiao Jiao replied, That's enough. Qin Yang, it's still too early for you to replace Qin Yun and take my place. If there's nothing else, get lost and don't disturb Yunner while she rests. Qin Yang sneered. Humph! Qin Jiao Jiao, instead of pointing fingers at me here, you should think about how to solve that mess. As soon as these words were spoken, Qin Jiao Jiao's eyes dimmed somewhat. After hesitating for a moment, she said, Heap half of new of the wasteland and sell the rest. Qin Yang scoffed. Humph! You're lucky. The master has the same intention. Saying this, he pointed at Magnar Q and continued. But the master also said that this person must be handed over. Mater Chu hurried to Qin Jiao Jiao and pleaded, Miss Tan, save me. If I'm handed over to the Zai Marcus, I'm definitely dead. Qin Jiao Jiao ignored Magnar Q, coldly saying, I have no objections. As to the former alchemy matters, you all take care of it yourselves. Qin Yang ordered someone, tie this one up and hand him over to the Zai Marquis. Manager Q knew at that moment that there was no way to salvage the situation, so he took his last breath and shouted loudly, Qin Jiao Jiao, you are a bitch. How did you promise? Even in death, I will not spare you. Qin Jiao Jiao turned to look at Qin Yun, feeling a hint of disappointment in her heart, along with a sense of regret. Thinking back to the past when Qin Yun had been so carefree and noble, made her feel even more sorrowful. Seeing Qin Yun unconscious and seemingly dreaming of a nightmare, muttering repeatedly, Prodigal Son, kill him. Prodigal Son. Qin Jiao Jiao stood up inside. This can't continue. This Prodigal Son, I don't care whether he truly has a strategy or if it was just luck. Tonight, he must die by my hands. A determined glint appeared in Qin Jiao Jiao's eyes, mixed with a sense of killing intent.